It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. You want the world to reward your heart. It won't. Courts are not churches, and power does not kneel to kindness. You walk into meetings like a pilgrim, and everyone else arrives like merchants to a market measuring, weighing, bargaining. Reputation is coin, favors are credit, secrets are collateral. In the corridors where decisions are born, smiles are currencies with fluctuating rates, and yesterday's ally may hedge against you by sunset. You think loyalty is a vow. They treat it like a contract with penalties and escape clauses. Admit the terrain. You are standing in a court, not a sanctuary. The world is not a monastery. It's a court. In a court, applause is staged, and affections are rehearsed. A kind email is a costume. A handshake is a probe. When a manager praises your team spirit, she might be testing how much extra labor you will donate without asking for a position. When a friend confides in you, he might be mapping your boundaries for later use. Even charity is sometimes a billboard for influence. If you cling to innocence, you become scenery, pleasant, harmless, forgettable. Better to be legible as useful than invisible as kind. See the game as it is played. Reputations are traded, favors negotiated, alliances adjusted to the weather. This is not cynicism, it is sight. Intentions don't command, results do. A founder with a noble mission loses the market because a rival ships first and fixes later. Customers remember who solved the problem, not who meant to. A colleague with clean hands missed the promotion because she waited for permission, while someone else produced a decisive memo and took the heat. A politician with pure ideals writes an elegant speech. The opponent knocks on 10,000 doors and wins by half a point. Good intentions are a bedtime story. Power wakes with the alarm and meets the day. You are judged by what lands, not by what lives in your chest. Trade softness for standards. Trade purity for proof. You have been told that goodness will speak for itself. It won't. Results speak. They speak in contracts signed, in crises ended, in teams that move when you lift a finger. Learn to love the scoreboard, track what can be counted, and show what must be seen. When you negotiate, bring proofs, not promises. Numbers on a slide, testimonials with names, a prototype that functions under pressure. Your calm will grow from evidence. Your voice will carry because reality stands behind it like a wall. Precision is armor and dagger. Begin with your face. Control the muscles. Let silence do half your speaking. People fear what they cannot read and respect what they cannot push. Time your answers. Short delays imply you are weighing costs, not seeking approval. Choose verbs that move, authorize, decline, deliver, revise. Strip adverbs. They leak, need. Keep your calendar as a fortress. Scarcity creates value. Arrive exact. Leave on time, and signal that your minutes are priced. When you must reveal, reveal only what builds leverage. Guard the rest like state secrets. Precision shields you from traps. It also opens paths. A precise ask 2 weeks, 3 milestones. This budget forces clarity and exposes pretenders. A precise refusal not under these terms teaches others how to approach you. A precise promise delivery, Friday, 5 p.m., builds a ledger of credibility that compounds faster than charm. Over time, your name becomes a sentence in other people's minds. If you say it, it will be done. That is the quiet crown. Stop begging love to protect you. Make results with your bodyguard. Make precision your creed. You will not win every contest, but you will stop losing by accident. You will waste less motion, shed fewer words, and trade applause for advantage. In the court, that is salvation enough. Power honors precision. Let your results speak your name. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few really know what you are. You want love to mean safety. You want praise to mean loyalty. You want warmth to mean shelter. But where power is decided, love often means leverage, and praise becomes a leash. The smile across the table can be a mirror angled to your needs. See this early, and you stop feeding your enemies with your predictability. The counterfeit of love begins with dependence and flattery. A dependent does not love you. He needs you. He watches your rhythms like a thief, studies a house when the lights turn on, when the door is unlocked, where the spare key is hidden. He echoes your opinions, laughs at your jokes, and praises your virtues because your virtues carry him. He appears when you are tired or rushed, offering help that costs him little and buys him access. The temperature is warm, the intention is extraction, test for friction, give a small, clean no, ask for a little effort, move one deadline by a day. If the smile curdles and the gratitude sours, the mask just cracked. Real loyalty adjusts, mimicry resents. Real loyalty will disagree and still execute. Mimicry agrees and then delays. At work, the counterfeit ally praises your vision in public and misses the single deliverable that mattered. In dating, the counterfeit partner showers you with attention until you set a boundary. Then affection mutates into pressure, apology, and another request. The pattern is simple. When your need feeds them, they glow. When your spine appears, they fade. Stop mistaking flattery for proof. Proof costs. Proof shows up on time, asks for clarity, and takes a hit with you when the wind turns. Praise that costs nothing buys nothing. Replace compliments with criteria. Who carries weight when the plan slips? Who defends you in rooms you are not in? Who accepts corrections without drama? Loyalty that survives friction is loyalty you can trust. Everything else is theater, and the tickets are printed with your needs. Transparency sounds virtuous, but strategic. Transparency is selection, not confession. Oversharing draws your map for invaders. When you talk too much, you hand out the blueprint of your limits, your triggers, your deadlines. Now they know what flatters you, what threatens you, and when you break, a rival manager learns you hate silence. She goes quiet until you fill the space with concessions. A client hears your quarter is weak. He waits a week and cuts your rate on Friday afternoon. A friend learns you cannot stand letting people down. He asks for one more tiny favor during your busiest hour. Your stories become their tools. Practice selective opacity, not lies opacity. Use silence as a gate. Answer small questions with small answers. When you need time, say you are reviewing options. When pressed for numbers, give a range until commitment serves you. Screen for intent with one sentence. What will you do with this information? Watch who retreats when they cannot count your steps. Keep habits that make you harder to model. Vary your arrival by a few minutes. Ask one unexpected question in every negotiation and rotate the order of your routine. Let people guess. Guessing drains their energy. Restraint preserves yours. Selective opacity also guards your emotions. You do not owe your triggers to the room. The person who knows you hate being ignored can starve you for attention and move you like a puppet. The one who learns you rush decisions under praise will flood you with compliments before asking for discounts, favors, or time. Build a default posture. Slow breath, still hands, measured tone. Hold your face steady. Choose short sentences. Let others project. Let them wonder. Your restraint is a vault. Your control of expression is the lock. Fairness without leverage is begging. People should be fair. Often they are not. Lead with fairness in a room that measures only power, and you teach the room that you can be ignored without cost. A contractor promises to do right by that relationship, and then slips the date. You forgive, and he slips again. A friend borrows money and praises your generosity. He delays repayment and treats your patience as interest. A colleague takes credit and calls it teamwork. Your creed becomes their cover. Reverse the order. Build strength first, then offer fairness. In salary talks, arrive with options, another offer. A client you can bring. A project you can own, end to end. Fairness grows in the shade of leverage. When you can walk, your voice steadies. When you can deliver alone, partnership becomes a gift, not a need. In dating, do not preach about respect. Embody standards that are expensive to violate. Keep your calendar tight, your word exact, your reactions slow, and let access remain something earned. The more replaceable you are, the more lectures you give. The more leverage you hold, the fewer speeches you need. Fairness after strength protects both sides. It makes eyes durable because they were not extracted by guilt. It makes boundaries clean because they were set by capacity, not panic. People do not respect generosity they can push around. They respect the gift that could have been withheld. They respect mercy from someone who could punish them. Your justice is most persuasive when it is a choice, not a plea. Replace the easy lies with workable truths. Being loved does not guarantee safety. Sometimes love is a script designed to hold you still. Transparency does not guarantee loyalty. Sometimes transparency is a map to the vault. Fairness does not guarantee respect. Sometimes fairness is noise to those who only hear consequences. You do not need to become cold, only clear. You do not need to stop caring, only stop leaking. Here is the discipline. Before you accept affection, ask what it costs you to refuse it. Before you share information, ask how it could be used to corner you. Before you argue fairness, ask what leverage makes the argument worth hearing. This is not paranoia. It is hygiene. You lock your doors not because you hate the neighborhood, but because you live in it. Practice the same with your time, your words, and your promises. Clean your circle with small tests. Every quarter, say no where you once said yes. Share less and see who invents stories. Ask for mutual effort and watch who vanishes. Reward those who pass. Release those who fail without ceremony. You do not owe explanations to people who only understand advantage. Your peace will grow as your boundaries grow teeth. The court will not change. Change your stance inside it. Then the same smiles, the same rooms, the same offers will feel different, not because they softened, but because you hardened into form. Precision turns kindness into choice, not weakness. Precision gives you edges. Edges keep you from being peeled. Choose clarity over comfort. Let leverage lead your love. Steel your heart until you master your wounds. They will bargain in your name and sign away your power. The first wound is approval. You want to be liked, so you become legible. Legible becomes predictable. Predictable becomes controllable. In the office, a manager praises your kindness in public and in private, hands you the tasks no one wants. You accept because you fear the cold stare that follows refusal. In dating, you answer within seconds because silence feels like danger. Your speed teaches them you can be summoned. Approval seems like safety, but it is rent you pay to live in other people's plans. Approval makes you pliable. You telegraph your hunger through over-explanation, forced laughter, and quick concessions. Others read these tells like farmers read weather. A storm of yes is coming. Professionals of advantage offer tiny, controlled disapproval, a raised eyebrow, a slow reply. You try harder, you become cheaper. In a court, the need is an advertisement. If you cannot bear to be disliked, you volunteer to be directed. They do not hate you, they simply pilot you. Replace the habit. Practice small, clean refusals. I can't this week. Period. Do not explain. Explanation invites argument. Use time as a shield. I'll confirm by Thursday. Train for the flinch. Accept the first wave of cold air when you say no. It will pass. Approval is a wind. Stand still, and it moves around you. Your aim is posture. When you demonstrate that affection is welcome but unnecessary, people adjust their method. Those who value you will switch from flattery to respect. The second wound is revenge. You were humiliated, cut off in a meeting, mocked in a thread, betrayed at a crucial hour, so you vow to balance the scales. Revenge narrows your horizon to the enemy's shadow. You march where he stands, not where you should go. You trade strategy for theater. You burn hours on replies while the project that would eclipse him gathers dust. You chase the thrill of hurting a foe and abandon the satisfaction of building power. Vendetta is a tax on focus. It declares your priorities to the room. You are easy to bait. An opponent who knows you must answer every slight, can steer you with insults and starve your schedule. Let them shout. Princes who built granaries outlasted plotters in alleys. The people remember who kept them fed, not who had the sharper sarcasm on a Tuesday. Replace the impulse. Convert fury into architecture. When you are wounded, do not strike, build. Channel the heat into assets that raise your altitude. A cleaner product demo, a private alliance, a skills upgrade that removes a gatekeeper from your path. Keep a ledger of injuries to price risk. Target the system that made the offense cheap. If a colleague steals credit, redesign your process so deliverables pass through you for sign-off. Public proof is quieter than public anger. If a partner leaks your plan, split the work into compartments. Make betrayal costly. The third wound is scarcity. You fear loss of job, client, partner, status, so every choice becomes insurance. Under threat, you pay premiums in concessions. Lower rate, longer hours, softer boundaries. You grip so hard you break it. A boss hints at budget cuts. You volunteer extra tasks before anyone asks. Teaching him you will carry 2 roles for 1 salary. A client dangles renewal. You slash the price to keep the relationship and set a floor you will struggle to raise. A partner threatens distance. You abandon your standards to stay close, and respect erodes. Fear of loss is useful only when it sharpens preparation. Otherwise, it writes your lines for other people's play. Under scarcity, you reveal deadlines, reveal thresholds, reveal panic. You answer emails at midnight to prove devotion, and the other side learns midnight is cheap for you. You agree to just this once meetings that become tradition. You signal that keeping you costs nothing but praise. Trade standards for proximity, and you devalue both. Replace the posture. Composed under threat. Before you respond, breathe and count to 30. Let the heat fall from the words you would regret. When offered a bad deal, counter with options or exits. Options create patience, exits create respect. Say, here is what works for me. Build buffers, cash, skills, pipeline, a network that answers your call so you can say no without shaking. When you can walk, you negotiate. When you cannot, you beg. Silence across a day persuades more than 10 rushed explanations. All 3 wounds, approval, revenge, scarcity, are levers. Others pull to move you where you would not walk. They are hot memories dressed as principles that look like virtues. They whisper, be liked, get even, don't lose. Listen too closely and you will trade your crown for applause, your future for an argument, your leverage for a seat at the wrong table. Power requires cool blood, not hot memory. Cool blood comes from structure, habits that steady your breath, rules that hold when feelings surge, calendars that enforce distance, and clean language that closes doors. When you shape your day shapes your temper. Establish your antidotes for approval. Weekly refusals chosen in advance, so your mouth learns no without drama. For revenge, a standing order, no public responses within 24 hours. All heat goes to private buildings. For scarcity, monthly drills to price minimums, update options, and rehearse exits. Write these into your life like taxes. You are not punishing yourself. You are preventing the world from punishing you cheaply. Now, I look forward to it. Choose the version of you that can be disliked and still decide, insulted and still build, threatened and still negotiate. That is a ruler's temperament, not cold contained, not cruel selective. You will still feel every sting. You will refuse to bleed on command. Let others gamble with tempers. Let others auction boundaries for applause. You will measure. You will have time. You will move when movement pays. Steal your heart again, the day will test it again. Someone will offer love that feels like a contract. Someone will provoke your pride. Someone will wave scarcity like a flag. You will see the hooks behind the bait. You will choose the slower breath, the smaller sentence, the steadier hand. Outcomes, not feelings. Position, not performance. Quiet, not confession. Step by step, the wounds stop choosing for you, and your decisions begin to fit your ends. Cool blood, steady hand, chosen moves. Men in general judge more by the eye than by the hand, for everyone can see but few can feel. When the picture of yourself shatters, the noise is private. You believed that goodness would guard you. It did not. The court took your warmth, filed it into something convenient, and handed it back when it suited them. The sting is not madness. It is the world handing you a truer map. Do not fight the map. Study it. The fall of the good man myth hurts because it rearranges your history. You remember the late nights, the favors, the patience you told yourself your character would cash out later. Instead, you watched colder hands collect the prize. The mind reaches for blame or fantasy. Resist both. Grieve cleanly. You were not foolish to want decency. You were unarmed for a place where decency is a costume. A shield that fails is still a lesson. Hold it up and see the holes. Let the grief come in measured waves. Sit with the images. The meeting where you were interrupted. The friend who only called in need. The partner who wished you softer so they could grow larger. Name them without decoration. Each scene is a document, not a drama. Dignity means refusing to smear your own face with self-contempt. You misread the room. That is correctable. You did not lose your worth. You lost illusions about how worth is measured here. Now, stabilize. Containment protocols for chaos begin with subtraction. When a fire starts in a palace, the wise man closes doors to starve it. Close yours. Fewer words, fewer movements, fewer explanations. Your first weapon is silence that does not apologize. It prevents leaks of information, of need, of heat. In practice, answer only direct questions with direct replies. Noted, I'll review. No, that won't work. These short lines stop you from bargaining against yourself. Second, still the body. Under pressure, hands fidget, eyes dart, the voice rushes. The court reads these as invitations. Anchor your posture, feet flat, shoulders down, breath lower. Use tempo as a signal, slow on entry, slower on exit. Do not reply to a provocation in the same minute. Let time cool the metal. If you must speak, drop adjectives. Verbs move, adjectives bleed. Third, control your openings. Chaos hunts for open doors. Calendars too available. Statuses too green. Boundaries written in chalk. Reduce availability at the edges. Protect the morning. End calls at the time you declared. Escalate nothing in public in the first 24 hours. Delay your own urge to explain. Most storms exhaust themselves when they cannot feed on your motion. As the ground stops shaking, reconstitute the center. Identity must be rebuilt around agency, not applause. What you do becomes who you are, not who claps becomes what you do. Write 3 clear aims for the next 90 days. 1 for craft, 1 for leverage, 1 for body. Craft is the skill that makes you hard to replace. Leverage is the structure that makes it your favorite word. The body is the container that keeps your mind sharp. Sleep, food, iron, sun. Give yourself short commands, military and simple. Stand, breathe, decide, draft, cut, deliver, walk, lift, write. These are not mottos, they are buttons you press. Put them on your desk, on your phone, on the wall you see while tying your shoes. In moments of heat, long philosophy fails. Short orders keep you from breaking rank with yourself. Then build decisive micro-wins. Precision returns through action you can measure. Structure your day like a campaign. 3 decisive objectives, each with a visible deliverable. Finish the memo before noon. Close the small client at a fair price. Fix the process that leaks an hour weekly. These are not small, they are stone steps out of the river. Every completion hardens your voice. Every delivered promise moves your name from hope to reliability in other minds. Use real examples. If your reputation took a hit from being too nice, choose one arena to practice edge. In meetings, speak once with a full stop. I disagree. Here's the data. We'll proceed with option B. Do not soften the period into a comma. In your messages, cut just, maybe, and sorry to bother. These words sell discounts on your presence. If a client tests your rate, counter with a package that adds value without cutting price. If they walk, let them. Losing a poor fit is a win that pays you later. If a relationship trained you to shrink, reintroduce terms with calm, not accusation. I'm available these days, not those. I do not discuss decisions during an argument. If respect drops, the conversation ends. Keep your eyes level. If they threaten to leave, recognize the test for what it is. A bid to see whether scarcity still drives you. Scarcity ruled the old you. Agency commands the new. You may miss a night of closeness. You will gain a life of self-respect. Expect backlash. The court prefers you pliable. The moment you become heavier, hands that once pushed you with a finger must use their shoulder. They will call you cold, difficult, changed. Accept all 3 and thank them silently. Cold is contained. The difficulty is clear. Change is the point. You are not performing cruelty. You are installing order. Order is mercy for your future self. Now, refine the center with rituals that keep it intact. Morning solitude before screens. A weekly audit where you ask, what did I build? What did I enforce? What did I decline? A monthly review of alliances. Who strengthens my hand? Who drains it? Who needs a test? Treat this like a prince treats the city's walls. Inspection prevents invasion. As clarity rises, pride will tempt you to announce your new self. Resist grand declarations. The strong advertise through outcomes. Let others notice that your time is scarce, your words exact, your promises kept. Let them adjust or exit. You will not chase, you will not explain. Your silence is not emptiness, it is pressure. The collapse ends not when the pain fades, but when the pieces arrange into something harder to break. You are not the good man people used to be. You are the capable man people must respect or avoid. Your kindness will still exist by invitation, not as default. Your love will still be offered by decision, not by hunger. The ruler within is not loud, he is precise. He makes rooms calmer or quieter, and both are forms of control. Hold the line inside, rebuild with small decisive wins. Take off the perfume and the story. What you called love was a deal with soft lighting. Interests wear romance as a costume. In the court, the palace, the office, and the bedroom, incentives do the talking while lips say sweeter things. You feel chosen. In truth, a calculation is choosing. The colleague who believes in you, believes in your late nights. The client who adores your style, adores your discount. The partner who praises your understanding heart, understands you hate to disappoint, and will bend your schedule, your boundaries, your future, to keep the peace. This is not a sermon against feeling, it is a lens for survival. Once you pull back the velvet curtain, you see the pulleys: status, access, money, labor, reputation. Where incentives align, affection arrives like a well-trained bird. Where they don't, the bird flies home. Read people strategically, calmly. Note what they repeat, what they hurry, what they postpone. Track the moment smiles, sharpen into. Speed deadlines, approvals, signatures. Ask, what do they gain if I say yes? What do they lose if I don't? Watch how "we" appears when costs rise. Love cannot hide the math, it only perfumes it. When the numbers change, so do the vows. Your power begins where your eyesight improves. Value precedes affection. People commit to what enhances them. If you bring competence, calm, and consequence, you become gravity. Objects move around you. If you bring need, noise, and apology, you orbit others until they grow bored. In business, a designer with rare execution is courted. A pleasant amateur is pitied. In friendships, the one who solves problems gets invitations. The one who unloads problems gets silence. In dating, the person with direction, health in order, money disciplined, time defended, becomes a scarce asset. The person who lives as a constant emergency becomes a risk. Therefore, build value like a fortress. Tighten your craft until it cuts. Clarify your offer so it can be priced without guessing. Protect your time so access feels earned. Move your body, guard your sleep, and keep your voice slow. This is not vanity, it is a signal. People read the frame before the painting. If the frame is crooked, chaotic schedule, messy speech, frantic energy, they assume the art is weaker than the pitch. If the frame is solid, clear terms, measured tone, simple promises delivered, they invest. Love may arrive, but it will land on the runway you own. Understand the order. Value first, then affection. Do not beg for loyalty with softness. Produce loyalty with structure. A boss respects the employee who brings a complete plan and a credible, if not, I'll execute elsewhere. A client respects the consultant who names the fee without a tremor and lists what will be delivered, when, and how scope changes are priced. A partner respects the person who can walk away from disrespect because self-respect already moved in. When your presence improves outcomes, people remember you at the budget meeting, at the hiring meeting, at the dinner table. They care because you count. Respect over love, leverage over charm. Charm wins rooms, leverage shapes rooms. Respect is the currency that is spent when feeling cool. Control of appearances means your exterior tells the right story before you speak. Posture steady, clothes clean, eyes level, phone ignored when someone talks. Control of resources means you decide where time, money, and information flow, and you do not flood any one channel to prove you care. Control of timing means you act at the crest of your advantage, not at the peak of your anxiety. Practice the triad. First, appearances. Remove the leaks. Cut the nervous laughter, the filler words, the just checking in messages. Replace with short, clear lines. Here's the draft. Feedback by Thursday closes scope. These are the terms. No. Second, resources. Hold your rate and your standards. If someone cannot afford them, they cannot afford you. Redirect energy to prospects who value you. Starve the wells that only drink. Third, timing. Resist the urge to answer within seconds. A measured pause raises the price of your yes and lowers the chance of a foolish one. If a partner escalates, move the talk to a calmer hour. If a manager presses, ask for priorities in writing. Slowness is armor, schedule is a blade. Upgrade your criteria for connection. Ask not, do they make me feel seen? Ask, do they make me stronger, clearer, better governed? A friend who challenges your lazy habits loves you better than a friend who flatters and keeps you small. A lover who respects your calendar loves you better than a lover who devours it. A boss who sets hard targets and pays on time respects you more than a boss who praises endlessly and pays late. Train your appetite to prefer respect to roses. Roses wilt. Respect compounds. Once you call things by their names, interests, incentives, perceptions, the field simplifies. You do not have to become cruel. You have to become accurate. See what is bargained, what is borrowed, what is bought, and what is merely sung about. When love is real, it survives with clarity. It cooperates with your standards instead of asking you to drop them. When love is theater, the performance ends when you stop paying for tickets. You are not giving up romance. You are removing illusion. Let affection follow value. Let warmth follow boundaries. Let commitment follow leverage. Then, if love remains, it will be love you can trust, because it stayed when the discounts disappeared and the rules held. Respect first, value steady, timing precise. He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command. You do not command by volume. You command by discipline, habits that turn heat into signal and instinct into instrument. This is the work. Take what you hide in the dark and train it to serve you in daylight. Fortune tests the unprepared. She yields to those who arrive arranged. You will not beg luck. You will shape it with virtue. Observe, conceal, misdirect, and strike with economy. Begin with 5 daily disciplines. Observation drills. Track motives, not words. People confess through patterns. Where they hurry, where they stall, whom they credit, what they repeat. Keep a small ledger. When a manager praises flexibility, notice if the late requests always land on you. When a partner says we, note if costs are yours and benefits are theirs. When a client loves your work, record whether they pay on time. 10 quiet minutes each night turns gossip into data and data into foresight. Silence blocks. Schedule non-disclosure. Twice a day, a window where you do not explain, justify, or reveal plans. Answer with questions that return the ball. What outcome are you aiming for? What problem would this solve? Silence pulls maps out of other people. In meetings, let the first volley pass. Many negotiate against themselves if given air. Treat your words like expensive steel. Use only what cuts. Emotional cold starts. Austere mornings blunt neediness before negotiations. Water, breath, and 1 page of orders to self. Deliver draft. Decline scope creep. Leave on time. If you need applause, you will pay for it with terms. Walk into calls with a low heart rate. Delay your first dopamine. No notifications or praise loops until after your first completed task. Discipline before reward teaches your nerves who rules. Appearance tuning, dress, posture, and pace of speech signal competence and calm. Fit outranks price. Cleanliness outranks fashion. Stand as if someone will sketch your outline and guess your rank. Pace your voice so ideas have weight. Keep tools neat, laptop, notebook, bag. People do not read your soul. They read your frame and make a bid on your value. Present a frame that raises the bid. Timing practice. Delay gratification. Act at the crest of advantage. Use small weights. Answer emails at set times. Let offers sit a beat. Ask for a night to consider counters. A pause converts a maybe into a better yes. Track cadences. When do stakeholders agree more easily? Mornings, end of month, after a win. Strike then. Save your strongest move for the moment resistance is most expensive. Now assemble leverage architecture. Mood fails, structure holds, information asymmetry. Know more than you show. Show less than you have decided. Build a private dashboard of facts, budgets, timelines, bottlenecks. Share enough to appear transparent while keeping options unfinalized. In a pitch, define the problem perfectly and display one clean solution. Keep a second in reserve until you see appetite. Intelligence becomes a moat when others must guess your depth. Option stacking. Maintain alternatives, partners, routes, plays. The person with one supplier pays retail with a smile. The person with 3 names, a price. Build options before you need them. Coffee with a competitor, a pilot with a second client, a cross-training that lets you cover 2 roles. In love, cultivate a full life. Friends, craft, health, so you never trade dignity for company. Options are not disloyalty, they are oxygen. You do not threaten to walk, you simply can. Credible consequences. Quietly cultivate the ability to say no and mean it. A no without teeth is a rumor. Teeth are capacities, savings to take a risk, skills to move, allies who answer when you call. Make one small consequence visible. If scope expands without pay, delivery moves. If meetings slide, decisions slide with them. If respect drops, access narrows. State the policy once, apply it without heat, and never bargain against your own rule. Finally, practice clean strikes with limited exposures. Most men lose not by weakness but by waste 10 gestures that impress the room and change nothing. Targeted moves. Choose the smallest act that produces the largest shift. Instead of wrestling every inch of a broken process, win the single gatekeeper who controls flow. Instead of 5 follow-ups, write one memo that locks scope and timeline. Copy the decision maker and move. In dating, skip endless debates about tone, set one standard, no contempt, and end any conversation that breaks it. Targeted acts teach the room that your boundaries are not rumors. Controlled mercy, reward loyalty. Punish treachery once, precisely. Mercy is strongest when you could do otherwise. Give public credit to those who carry weight. Their morale becomes your engine. When betrayal occurs, price it once. Cut access, not throats. Keep your tone dry. Others learn without spectacle. Machiavellian mercy is arithmetic. Generosity for allies compounds. Penalties for traitors are surgical, memorable, and rare. Exit mastery. Leave before you are pushed. Keep doors unburned. The most powerful sentence in politics and business is, "This arrangement no longer serves our aims." Say it early. Favor clean endings over messy continuations that drain years. To keep doors unburned, exit with receipts organized, assets returned, a short thank you, and no gossip. People remember whether you left them with order or with fire. Build a reputation for exits that are tidy and swift. Future entries will be smoother. Bind the regimen into a day you can live. Morning, cold start, appearance tuning, one hard objective delivered before messages. Midday, update the observation ledger, run a silence block, delay one reply. Afternoon, tend an option, a new contact, a skill, a pilot. Evening, debrief what leverage grew, what consequence held, what strike landed. Week by week, the drills knit a skin around your intent. Luck still blows, but you stop tipping over. Understand the spirit beneath the steps. This is not cruelty, it is clarity. You are converting shadow into structure. Your darkness, pride, fear, hunger, used to lunge. Now it listens. Now it moves on signal. When fortune turns ahead, you do not plead. You are already in motion, prepared and decided. Others perform chaos. You perform cadence. Train until these moves feel like manners. The world will call you cold because you do not leak. They will call you calculating because you can wait. Accept the names. Keep the throne. Virtue is not thunder. It is the quiet hinge a city swings on. Build it, polish it, guard it, and fortune will find you hard to shake. Observe, withhold, prepare, strike once. Peace is not the absence of enemies. It is the discipline that makes enemies inefficient. Order within, order without. You learn to govern your breath before you govern a room. In practice, this is simple. Fewer words, slower eyes, steadier hands. You keep your tone level when others climb in pitch. You hold one posture in victory and in insult. This stillness is not decoration, it is a signal. People tend to raise their voices around a man who cannot hold his center. When you hold it, the temperature drops. Fires that would have spread across 3 meetings die in 1 email because you do not feed them with panic. At home, the same rule applies. A partner escalates. You de-escalate with time and place. We speak at 8, not now. The boundary is calm and timed, not loud and endless. Your restraint becomes a perimeter. Chaos looks for gaps. You present a wall. This is not passive. It is deliberate. You sort what is urgent from what is noisy. You answer the urgent with precise action. You let noise pass until it expires. You remove the needless second sentence. You choose the hour and the room for difficult conversations. In doing so, you teach others the rhythm of dealing with you. No one gains by shouting. No one wins by rushing. The pattern is civil because your presence makes it expensive to be uncivil. Your interior order sets the price of admission. Sustainable rule. Alliances over adoration. Love flatters and forgets. Respect is remembered. Do not chase the room. Compose the table. Identify who shares incentives with you over time. Producers, not spectators. Builders, not beggars. Pay them on time. Credit them in public. Guard them in conflict. Accept hard truths from them and return the favor. A network built on exchanged utility outlasts a fan club built on mood. In the office, build a corridor of competence. Legal, who answers fast. Finance, who speaks plain. Operations, who delivers. When storms come, you do not fetch umbrellas. You have roofs. Avoid applause. They melt under pressure and demand rescue, then resent you for providing it. Keep proximity to those who value order. Their habits reinforce your habits. They bring documents, not stories. They bring calendars, not crises. In dating and friendship, prefer people who protect your time, respect your work, and refuse gossip. A quiet dinner with 3 trustworthy allies is worth more than a party of 100 who would sell your name for a better view. Alliances must be maintained, scheduled check-ins, offers made before they are asked for, small favors banked against future need. You are building a city, not a parade. Fortuna bows to preparation. You cannot command the wind, but you can trim the sails, train the crew, and choose your season. Preparation looks like a dull routine to the untrained eye. It is the opposite of dull. It is the only reliable romance. Keep reserves, cash enough to walk, skills enough to pivot, reputation enough to be called. Keep checklists pre-brief for meetings, debrief after. Run drills what you do if a client leaves, if a rumor starts, if a partner stumbles. Practice the sentence that closes leaks. We will decide by Friday after I review the numbers. Practice the sentence that ends abuse. This conversation ends if the tone drops. When the sky darkens, you do not decorate speeches. You shorten orders. You set bearing and speed. A competitor cuts price. You do not match, your product improves. Your terms clarify, your position sharpens. A boss threatens the budget. You bring alternatives and trade outcomes for resources. A partner tests a boundary. You enforce it once with clean language, then change access, not temper. The sea respects the economy. So do people. They see that you waste nothing, not breath, not time, not goodwill. In such an economy, fortune finds fewer places to wound you. Hope, properly understood, is earned serenity. You stand on a deck you maintained, with a crew you trained, with lines you coiled the night before. Your hand is steady on the tiller, not because the water is gentle, but because you are arranged. You are not immune to storms. You are able to pass through them with your name intact. That is the quiet crown. A life where your order generates calm around you, where others grow safer by standing near you, where conflict loses profit and retreats. Choose peace over chaos by choosing discipline over drama. Build the interior wall, tend the alliances that carry. Wait, prepare until luck loses its teeth, then let the world arrive as it will. You will meet it without noise, without hurry, and without apology. Calm within, allies around, preparation ahead.